top 10 or so finish using that strategy against cars that he thinks he can beat. That was one thing I always try to tell Jeff and the other guys is, don't tell me about Dale Jarrett. Tell me about people I can beat, because I can't beat him.
We're running on record pace. The race record set in 1999, 144 miles an hour. Right now, the average speed, almost 157.
Lap speeds are about 29.80. That's what Jarrett's running. That's down, what, Larry, 2 seconds from qualifying speed.
2 seconds, and that's about 15 laps on fresh tires.
And the speeds have come up a little bit from what they were earlier in the race, and I think that's just because the track's starting to come in, as they say.
Jimmy Johnson looking for his 5th straight top 10 finish.
Guy's consistent, Matt.
DW, he's currently riding in the 7th position. His crew chief is Chad Canals. Chad, you made a track bar adjustment on the last stop. How is your race car now?
It's pretty good right now. The Lowe's Chevrolet is just running really great. Jimmy's doing a good job. We were a little tight, so we made a track bar adjustment, freed him up a little bit. Early on in the run, it's a little bit unstable, but as the air pressure builds up, it's really good. The biggest problem we got right now is all the lap traffic. You get behind somebody and you just lose so much time that it's difficult to stay up with the leaders. But I think we're going to have a good day today.
His team is doomed. He's currently riding in the 7th position. He's hoping to join Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s drivers to score their first wins here at Texas.
Hey,
there's your Texas two-step.
Yeah.
Corpus Christi natives, Bobby and Terry Labonte.
And they're running back there in 15th and 16th position. And for Bobby Labonte, that's not a bad place to be. He's the kind of guy to lay back there like that, and so is his brother Terry. But at the end of the day, you look up and you say, how'd they get in the top 10?
But you know, out of 5 races, this is the only 2 guys that has finished in the top 10. 4 of those races, the 2 brothers, Bobby and Terry Labonte, at their home racetrack.
Dave Blaney has been working hard to stay on the lead lap. He is the 20th place car. And now, Ricky Rudd back up into 2nd place. That puts both of Robert Yates' cars in the top 2.
And I believe someone woke up the sleeping giant. Because, buddy, today they're there.
Let's see if it was Dick Berggren.
Well, Dick Berggren didn't wake up the sleeping giant, but Robert Yates probably did. My question for you, Robert, is car 28, Ricky Rudd, tested here. Dale Jarrett did not. How much of a benefit did Dale Jarrett get from that test his teammate did?
Well, that's a great big plus that we came here and tested. The 28 did the test. I'm sure that really helped us on qualifying and even in the race. We got to do about 1 race run to get some feel for the track. However, we don't want to forget that Dale Jarrett won this race last time. So a lot of our modeling came from last time, what we've learned since last year. Yeah, I want to give 28 a lot of credit, but at the same time, I think the 28 got a lot of credit from the 88.
What a great politician. Good job, Robert. And even on qualifying day in practice on Friday, the 88 car was struggling, made major changes before qualifying based on information from the 28 car and qualified 5th.
And I remember from the qualifying show, Dale Jarrett walked over and gave Ricky a big hug and said, thanks a lot. And Ricky said, that's the way 2 cars are supposed to work. 2 car teams are supposed to work.
Jarrett's win here last year was his 2nd of the season. He'd also won at Darlington. Then he won the following week at Martinsville, and then in July at Loudon, his final victory of the year. Another full weekend of racing across the Fox networks, beginning Friday on the net with Winston Cup qualifying at Martinsville. Saturday from Nashville, you'll see the Busch Series race here on FX, 4 p.m. start, and then final practice. Big day Sunday, NASCAR this morning on the net. The Winston Cup race presented by Yamaha right here on FX. And then NASCAR Victory Lane will be all access with Elliott Sadler at Martinsville next Sunday.
Now, Larry's going to love this, Mike. But this is typical drivers. They all complained for 2 days about it being cloudy, overcast, and raining. Now they're all complaining about the sun being out. My car won't drive good. The sun came out.
I tell you what, how about Kurt Busch? Winner from Bristol 2 weeks ago in the 97 car. Started 19th. He's up to 5th, just past Bill Elliott for the 5th place position, all over the back of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Talk to Jimmy Finney as we look at the interval on the Fox tracks right now. He's about a half a lap behind leader Dale Jarrett. Seems to be holding there about 14 3/4 seconds. Jimmy Finney said, let me tell you something. This kid is the real deal.
He is.
He gives great feedback on the race car. He knows what he's looking for in a race car, and I think he proved at Bristol he'll race anybody.
He will. If you'll rough up Jimmy Spencer, you are the man.
Here we see his miles per hour on the Fox track, down to about 160, down in the middle of 1 and 2.
Of course, that could be the best thing they could tell him, too. Jimmy Spencer's closing in. You better pick it up.
He's the 5th place car. We talked about how well the Yates cars are doing, 1st and 2nd. Another multi-car team owner is not having such a great day, Richard Childress.
Man.
You're riding with Robbie Gordon. Just ahead of him is Jeff Green. And a little bit further up the line is Kevin Harvick. The Childress cars are 29th, 30th, and 31st, 2 laps down.
Not the weekend these guys are looking for. And on the contrary, the Busch Series teams of Harvick and Jeff Green and Johnny Sauter had great runs in Saturday's race. Richard Childress, he's been gone for about a week and a half. Went to the Northwest Territory up around Antarctica hunting polar bear, but he came home bearless.
Wow. Ricky Rudd is mowing down Dale Jarrett. It's less than half a second now, 1st to 2nd place. And you saw Rudd looming in the rear camera vision.
But I'll tell you the other thing, these two guys, he's obviously closing in, but there's cars that are right in the grasp of these two guys right up ahead of them that are like our 15, 16, 17, 18 place cars. These guys are lapping the field in a hurry.
And I think that's the thing. Dale Jarrett in 88, he's really starting to lap a lot of cars. Here you see Ricky Rudd right up on the rear bumper. He's starting to lap a lot of cars, and his car's not driving good. We heard our guys report that from the pits. In traffic, his car will not turn, as we see so many times.
Starting to look inside, 2x2 inside, behind the 28, be clear all around.
Johnny Benson spotter.
That's a 19th place car, so we have 18 cars left on the lead lap, about 20 laps from halfway.
Just went by Stacy Compton. Like I say, just right, they're in turn 3, out of turn 4. Right here comes Jeff Gordon and a whole bunch of people that they better pick up the pace if they can.
Yeah, this leaves us just 17 cars on the lead lap, and 17th is Bobby Labonte. His teammate Tony Stewart is 9th. Steve?
Mike, he started 29th, but his feedback to crew chief Greg Zipadelli is, hey, we were too loose at the start of the run. Now we're too tight at the end. We need to balance the car out for the long run. What they're considering doing is taking a spring rubber out of the left rear spring and making a wedge adjustment. Matt Yocum.
Steve Scott Deal, the car chief for Tony Stewart, was actually down in the 18th pit of Bobby Labonte. He's talking to Jimmy Makar, and they're going to do the same exact thing. He is extremely tight. They started the race on sticker tires. The first stop they went to scuffs, which means that it's a set of tires that has a heat cycle through them. On the last stop, they went back to stickers. They're waiting for a caution so that they can pull that spring rubber out of the left rear. But Labonte is complaining the car is just tight. It will not turn.
Okay, Larry, and you know this. When you pull that rubber out of the left rear, that's like taking wedge out of the car. And it's a lot. So you got to put a little bit of wedge back in it to kind of balance the car back out. Everything you do is done in series of things, combinations.
And where you soften that spring, it really helps drive the car off the corner. We want to show you what we're talking about. It's just a piece of rubber donut that's put in the spring. Rear spring, normally it'll be worth about 15 or 20 pounds. We're going to show it in the right rear. Works the same in the left rear. There it is. You just reach in there under pit stop, changing tires. You pull that rubber off. It automatically softens that rear spring. You put it in. It stiffens up. But we're hearing a lot of people pull those spring rubbers out of the left rear. A lot of teams have those built-in adjustments, knowing they was going to have to make adjustments as this race unfolded.
Now, Ricky Rudd is right up to the rear bumper of Dale Jarrett as they hit this big pack of traffic. You see now Rudd has given Jarrett 2 or 3 car lengths of room to try to pick his way through there. 153 laps complete. Teamwork at work. Green flag pit stops have begun. Bill Elliott, Jerry Mayfield, Jimmy Johnson, and Kyle Petty have made green flag pit stops. Here's today's halfway recap brought to you by Coors Light. Pole sitter Elliott led the first 13 laps. The Yates drivers, Rudd and Jarrett, combined for the next 88 laps. 7 cars each took the lead during the green flag pit stops the first round. Dale Jarrett got back out front. And of the 200,000 folks expected for yesterday's race, 180,000 of them came back.
I tell you what, when these guys turn down off a pit road up here, man, I've held my breath a couple of times.
He's been watching tapes of Michael Schumacher. That's what it is. Matt?
Stay on the bottom. Stay on the bottom.
Mike, earlier in the race, Ward Burton tried to cut down, as you were mentioning, DW, how that is a little terrifying there, making that cut. He started to cut down and couldn't make it, so then he went an extra lap 2 pit stops ago.
Here comes the leader in, Matt. Yeah, here they all come. 28, 88, 18.
Jeremy Nadeau's been in. Robbie Gordon, Terry Labonte, Stacy Compton, Michael Waltrip have all made stops. Bobby Labonte follows the 2 Yates cars down pit road. Dick?
Well, Dale Jarrett is going to take a round up on the left rear. That's the only change. That is a very minor change. Darren Jolly from North Carolina carries the front tires. Iowa's Mike Trower is going to change front tires. Jason Sheets from Indianapolis changes rear tires. And Jeff Knight from North Carolina carries the rear tires. Barry Price from South Carolina, he's putting the fuel in it, and it's another strong stop for Dale Jarrett. Right behind him, the 28, his teammate Ricky Rudd. And here's Jeff Gordon, car number 24. 4 tires plus a minor air pressure adjustment. The wrench is also in the back window of Jeff Gordon's car. Their primary goal coming into today's race, keep all the fenders on the car. The only time they've done that here in Texas was last year when they finished 5th. Slow on the left rear. Gordon's gone.
Jimmy Spencer, John Andretti.
Here comes the 2 car.
Are in along with Tony Stewart, Johnny Benson, Matt Kenseth, Buckshot Jones, and the race leader for the first time this year, Rusty Wallace, also comes to pit road. Steve?
Yeah, they were considering taking some spring rubbers out, Mike, but they decided the last second just to take 4 tires. Rob Fuller on the rear tires. Dennis Terry changes the front tires. Bob Jones is the jack man, and Doug Ingold slams the gas in there. 4 tires, no other adjustment for Rusty Wallace.
I know we're showing pit stops, but Ricky Rudd and Dale Jarrett, they actually had equal pit stops. For Ricky beat Dale off pit road and led a lap. Dale Jarrett just went by him down in turn 1 and 2.
Looks like Ricky, the cars are very similar, but look like Ricky's gets better on a longer run. Not by much, but a skosh.
Just a little bit.
Frank Kimmel and this man, our most recent winner, Kurt Busch.
And you heard him say they were talking about doing something that you can't work on a car under a green flag stop and stay in the lead and stay up with the leaders.
When you need to make adjustments, you have a set of green flag adjustments, which gets you off pit road as quick as you can. Yellow flag adjustments, which would, be pulling spring rubbers out and putting them in.
Exactly. And the driver will call and say, hey, here's what I want you to do. But that's where the old crew chief.
Ryan Newman is also in, as Busch has a little trouble getting out of his pit. And Mark Martin comes on to pit road along with Jeff Burton, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and the 29 car of Kevin Harvick. Dick Berggren.
Mark Martin coming in for his pit stop. His year has improved all year long. He's done better than he has done last year. They're going to put 4 tires in the car, just 1 round into the right rear of the automobile, make it handle just a little bit. So far, it's a nice smooth pit stop to match.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. already in. They're going to make a wedge adjustment. His car is still tight. It's Tony Jr., Dale Jr.'s cousin, hits the last lugs on the left front.
Sterling Marlin leads the lap for the first time today.
Gets those valuable 5 bonus points, add to that championship, Steve Burns.
Hey, Larry Mack, they're going to make a track bar adjustment on the 40 car. Clay Robinson on the front tires. Nate Cannon on the rear. Dwayne Trammell carries the rear tires. Mike Houston carries the front. Rick Learling is the jack man. 4 tires for Sterling Marlin. 15.1 seconds.
Dave Blaney's in, so is Ricky Craven. As green flag pit stops continue, Dale Jarrett's taken back over the lead, along with Ricky Rudd, Rusty Wallace. As we cycle through green flag stops, Mike Skinner has climbed up